what do you do to prepare them for getting started? For example, lunging, tying, etc. It's a really good question. Always like it if when I get horses in for training that need to get started, if they've had some proper handling. Sometimes people do a little too much. You kind of want to keep it simple. Big thing that I see, or that I think is the most important, is making sure that the horse respects your personal space. I don't want to have them walking on top of me, barging into me when we go through doorways or anything like that. Always want to make sure that they know to stay a safe distance away from me, to where I'm not going to get kicked, bit, or stepped on. That's the main thing. Okay. Another big thing is responding to pressure. If I put pressure on the rope, I'd like them to come towards me. If I pull back on their halter, I'd like them to back up. If I put any pressure, say, on their nose with this halter, I'd like them to back up and get away from me. If I add any sort of pressure towards their shoulder or their front end, I'd like them to move away from me and hopefully step across like that. Same thing with the hip. I'd like to be able to walk towards their hip, get them to move. Anything that I can do to move them around to where I don't have to necessarily touch them. Okay, I always tell people, kind of act like a rooster. When a rooster is in the hen house and they're trying to scare you, they get real big and kind of flip their feathers around and try to make themselves look big. And that's kind of what I want to do with the horses. I don't want to get up right on top of them and start pushing on them and doing a whole lot. I want to be able to come out here and have them see me coming and get them to move before I ever get there. Because I don't, like I said before, as far as the personal space, I don't want to be working real close and tight to any of these guys to where I can give them an opportunity to strike me, kick me, bite me, turn, run away, or anything like that. As far as the, like I said, the giving to pressure, that kind of goes along with the question about time. I love to tie my young horses up only if they understand how to give to halter pressure. I'm not just going to tie them to a fence or something solid. Even if I tied them to like an inner tube, something that has a little give, I want to do a lot of prep before I actually tie them to something solid. So that'll be doing a lot of stuff where, they'll be slacking the rope, take that slack out, get a step or two, pat them, release the pressure, get it to where I can move that horse around anywhere by pulling light pressure on that rope. After they kind of understand all that, that's pretty basic, but some horses don't quite get that. I'll teach them to where if I push my hand on their head, they'll drop the pressure there. Also want to check to where if I accidentally stepped on the rope or stepped on the rein, they're not going to panic and flip their head up. Okay, I might never step on the rope like this, but if God forbid that happens, or like I said, if they pull back on the fence, hopefully doing a lot of this stuff will help. Like I said, pushing on their head. Anything that I can do is a lot of pressure and release. Same thing, like I said, as far as moving their body around. If I can add pressure, they move, and then there's a release. If they can understand pressure and a release, that's a big thing. You don't necessarily have to get the saddle on right away and ride them around real quick, as long as they understand the concept of pressure and release. So also getting them to where they're sacked out to either flipping the rope, a saddle pad, brushing them. I like to use sometimes a whip or just a good soft rope to where I can sack them out all over, around their butt, around their legs, get it to where I can come up around their head. And I'm not going to start, if I want to get them broke around their head, I'm not going to just start at their head. We're going to start somewhere else that's a little easier for the horse and then work our way up. That's pretty much everything that we do with the horse. Again, as far as time, I want to try to do as many things to where I might put this horse in a bind. So I might even play around here where I'll put the rope behind their butt, pull on them, and get them to follow their head. Okay, so I'll do a lot of this stuff before I actually ever tie them up. Do that both sides. Try this other side. anything that I can do to put them in some sort of bind, even if it's not that big of a deal, when they learn to get their way out of it. As far as the lunging, I do want a horse to know how to lunge, but I want to make sure that they're lunging properly. I don't just want to have them running around like a wasp on a string and just running. Okay? I'm not going to just tell someone, oh, just make sure they lunge around real good before they come. Because I want to be able to communicate with them where they walk, trot, lope, stop when I pull on them. They're not just running around. I don't want to teach them to come in here and just running around. Okay? Another thing when we're talking about tying them up, like I said, after we've done maybe some of our groundwork and we feel like we've got a pretty good understanding of them getting pulled on and given to the pressure, I'll just run the rope maybe around a post or something, not tie them, and then do some of my sacking out to see if maybe I can get the horse. Say that horse got scared and he pulled back, I'll just give him a little bit of slack until they hit the pressure and come back off. Okay, so we'll try that again. Like say this horse kind of rears back, gets scared of me or something, I can hold a little bit of pressure right there, hold, and then get back. I might do that 1,000 times. Okay. Then if I feel like, say they're understanding that and they're good about giving to the pressure right there, and I can throw my whip or my rope here, my whip, kind of sack them all out. I might get a little more animated, but I'm not going to be doing this if they're tied hard and fast on the fence. I want to have them have a chance to where they can get away from the pressure, then give the pressure at the end. I don't want to hold them. I don't want to tie them up real tight here and then just start scaring them and jumping around like an idiot. Okay? I want to make sure that we try to set these guys up for success in everything we do. And especially for a weanling, you just want to try to take baby steps. You know, just little victories are huge. And that could be just as simple as pulling on the rope right there and having them come to you. Okay, if you can do that and have them not running over you, not rearing back and flipping over, or having one spot where you jerk on them real hard and they fall down, that's all good. You know, we don't want all that stuff. We want just simple things like that, giving the pressure, and like I said in the beginning, respecting my personal space. That's the big thing, because we can't get hurt and they can't get hurt. So we want to make sure that they understand what's safe, and we try to stay in a safe spot.
There aren't many guarantees in the barn, but we've got one you can count on. Order any of our Smart supplements in Smart Packs and we'll guarantee you'll see results, or we'll give you your money back. Supplements that are guaranteed to work. We took care of that too.